Chapter 1973. Hearing Jiang Yandong's footsteps, Tang Guo stopped him. Brother Yandong, did something happen? You just came back and you want to go out. Yes, something did happen. What happened? Xiao Guo, don't worry. Nothing happened to me. There was some conflict among the fans today. Someone splashed chili water on me. Jiang Yandong told the truth. Seeing Tang Guo's worried face, he hurriedly said, "Don't worry, I'm fine. It was another fan who suddenly pounced on me and blocked it for me. But she seems to have fallen and is currently being sent to the hospital. I'm going over to take a look. Then be careful. You must thank the other party." Tang Guo's smile remained unchanged. Was it the same as what she had guessed? If it was the same, the world's will was really good to the female lead. Originally, there was such a thing, but Jiang Yandong dodged quickly and was not splashed. She suspected that the fan who suddenly flew over and pounced on Jiang Yandong was Xiao Lian. The system quickly explained the matter. Xiao Lian planned to secretly watch Jiang Yandong. Because of the previous incident, she had not come to watch Jiang Yandong's competition for a long time. But after thinking about it, she still felt aggrieved. Moreover, she was a fan of Adonis for so long. She felt a little indignant and planned to watch from the corner. The previous incident could not be explained clearly. In the future, she would just be a passerby fan. Even if Jiang Yandong was a little annoying before, he was indeed a genius. She did not expect that accident to happen. At that time, Xiao Lian did not even think about it. She directly rushed over with her agile skills and blocked in front of him. But she forgot that she was wearing a miniskirt and small high heels. She did not land steadily and hurt herself. After hearing this, Tang Guo's feelings were complicated. Then, was the scene between a man and a woman about to start? Even if Xiao Lian was a thief and had a bad impression of her before, Jiang Yandong's impression of her would change greatly after this incident. Brother Yandong, be careful. Alright, go to bed early. After Jiang Yandong left, Tang Guo really went to bed after washing up. She wondered how the bald guy's game training was going. For the next few days, Tang Guo could feel the changes in Jiang Yandong. Sometimes she could feel that he was angry, and sometimes he was laughing. Tang Guo said faintly, "If that's the case, should I go to the hospital to see Brother Yandong's savior?" Tang Guo directly called Wen Yunyang to explain her intentions. Yes. Fortunately, this kind-hearted fan helped Brother Yandong. How about it? I have to thank him. System, the host has a strong taste of green tea. Have you eaten it before? When Yunyang told Tang Guo the hospital's address and ward number. Then, she took the guide stick and the gift and went to the hospital. At the door of the ward, Tang Guo gently knocked on the door and then pushed it open. She stood at the door and asked, "Excuse me, is this Miss Xiao's ward?" "Miss Xiao, are you there? I am Brother Yandong's fiancé." Previously, Brother Yandong was almost injured. Fortunately, you helped. Today, I specially came to thank you. Chapter 1974. It was quiet in the ward. Tang Guo stood at the door with a guide stick in one hand and a gift for the patient in the other, with a sweet smile on her face. What were Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong doing? Because the two of them were enemies, they had fought in the ward before. Then, it was very melodramatic. The two of them had a very intimate action. Xiao Lian almost fell again, and Jiang Yandong naturally caught her quickly. Because of inertia, the two of them fell on the bed together. When Tang Guo opened the door, their lips just touched. System, angry. Jiang Yandong was really a scumbag. He had a fiancée, but he still played with other girls. Tangua smiled in her heart and continued to ask, "Is Miss Xiao here?" Hearing Tangua's voice, Xiao Lian finally came to her senses and pushed Jiang Yandong away. Jiang Yandong staggered back and hit the wall behind him. He hissed in pain. "Miss Xiao, what's wrong with you?" It was obviously an accident, but Xiao Lian felt a little guilty. She steadied her breath and said, I'm fine. It's just that the wound hurts a little." "Oh, then I'm right. You're the Miss Xiao who helped Brother Yendong, right?" Xiao Lian said weakly, "Yes, it's me." "Miss Xiao, thank you very much." Tangua gently closed the door and slowly walked to the bed. "Thank you for helping Brother Yendong." If the chilly water was really poured into his eyes, it would have a great impact on him. He loves his dreams. If there was something wrong with his eyes, he would be very sad. "Thank you." You're welcome. I'm also his fan. I also hope that he can go further and further on this road and continue to burn his dreams." The more Xiao Lian said, the more guilty she felt. It was just an accident, but she always felt a little afraid to face Tangua. Fortunately, the other party was blind. Brother Yendong. When Jiang Yandong was about to retreat slowly while Tangua and Xiao Lian were talking, Tangua's sudden voice startled them both. "Is it Brother Yendong? I can smell you." Jiang Yandong's face was a little pale. How could he forget that ever since Xiao Guo lost his sight, his ears and nose had become especially sensitive? Anyone who was slightly closer to her would be able to sense that something was amiss. Just when he didn't know how to explain, Xiao Lian said, Jiang, did you come with your fiancée? She's really beautiful." "No, I arrived later." "Did Xiao Guo just arrive?" Jiang Yandong breathed a sigh of relief and asked Xiao Lian in a polite and distant tone, "How are you today?" "Not bad. There aren't any problems. You can be discharged in 2 days." Tangua then said, "So Brother Yendong just came in?" "Yeah, I just came in. I didn't even have time to greet Xiao Guo before you noticed me." Jiang Yandong's voice was trembling as he lied. He sat beside Tangua and held her hand. "Why didn't you tell me you were coming?" "I called Brother Yendong earlier, but it seemed like no one picked up. Then I asked Wen Yunyang, and he was the one who told me the address." Jiang Yandong touched his phone and finally found it in a corner on the ground. When he saw the missed calls, he felt a little embarrassed. He must have not heard it when he was fighting with Xiao Lian earlier. Maybe I was too busy before and didn't notice. Chapter 1975. In the ward, Xiao Lian endured the awkwardness and fear. Tangua thanked her with a smile, and her speech was a little incoherent. Especially the awkward scene when she fought with Jiang Yandong, it made her feel even more guilty. Fortunately, Tangua didn't stay for long and left the ward with Jiang Yandong. When Jiang Yandong closed the ward door, Xiao Lian couldn't help but glare at him. "Brother Yendong, what's wrong?" Jiang Yandong was stunned by the glare. Tangua instantly realized that something was wrong with him and called out. Jiang Yandong woke up. Xiao Lian also shrank her neck and stuck her tongue out at him. He quickly closed the door and answered casually, "Nothing." "Xiao Guo, in the future, you must tell me first. I can bring you to see the patient, okay?" Thinking about what happened before, Jiang Yandong still had a lingering fear. A sentence that he shouldn't have said flashed in his heart. Fortunately, Xiao Guo couldn't see it. Otherwise, he wouldn't know how to end today. "Brother Yendong, in the future, you must not miss my call." Hearing Tangua's words, Jiang Yandong didn't know how to respond. Yes, Tangua had called him before. Otherwise, she wouldn't have come directly. "I will pay attention next time." Tang Gui just smiled at this sentence and didn't take it seriously. When Jiang Yandong was busy, he went to the club, played games, and did things that attracted him. He wouldn't miss the original host. This was just a young man who loved esports. He didn't know what responsibility and love were. The two of them slowly walked back. Even if there was nothing, Jiang Yandong couldn't stay in the villa. He usually used the excuse of leaving the villa to go to the club. The original owner knew that he cared a lot about his dream, so of course, she didn't hesitate to send him away. Knowing that he was working hard for his dream, she was only worried about his body and didn't think about anything else. She didn't know that Jiang Yandong's promise was more of guilt than anything else. He thought that they would be able to stay like this forever. Tongzi, what do you think if I open a social media account? System, he couldn't blame the system for asking this. If he couldn't see with his eyes, what was the point of opening a social media account? That's not true. Can't you just send a voice message or a video message? I'll just post a voice message about Jiang Yandong every day. It should attract a lot of attention. The system said weakly. Host, you're definitely up to something. Ever since she had taught Xiao Lian a lesson, she had not done anything else. He didn't believe that the host would forget to teach Xiao Lian a lesson because of the bald guy. The goal is to let everyone know what kind of person the fiancé of Jiang Yandong, the genius esports player, is. Tang Gui said faintly. No matter how good a person is, there is no way for outsiders to understand her. When she is weak, Jiang Yandong's halo is enough to cover everything. Everything will fall on her. What if the outsiders know me well? The system seemed to have understood something. Sure enough, he knew that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian wouldn't have it easy. Tang Gui's lips curved. Then help me open an account first. I'm going to share something with everyone later. The system trembled and opened an account for Tang Gui. Chapter 1976. Today should be a beautiful day. Brother Yan Dong went to the club for training again. I hope everything goes well for him today. The sun shines in warmly from outside the window. I suddenly want to know what the color of summer is. I almost forgot. The system watched silently. Tang Gui used her phone to record the scenery outside the window as she spoke in a sweet and gentle voice. Her love for Jiang Yandong, as well as her regret for forgetting the color of summer, made one's heart ache when they heard it. Tang Gui changed the name of her social media account to Xiao Gua, who hopes Brother Yan Dong will be happy today. The name was long, but it was attractive enough. When the video was uploaded, it attracted a lot of attention. With the help of the system, Tang Gui's social media account was quickly spread by many people. In a short time, many people were paying attention to it. Even people from the club saw it. When Yunyang saw the video, he couldn't see because the person who took the video was blind. There was clearly a beautiful scenery outside the window, but she only managed to capture a part of it. More than half of it only captured the wall. Coupled with her voice, it made one's heart ache. Yan Dong, is this your fiancé's account? Tong Hui, who was as carefree as ever, raised his phone in front of Jiang Yandong. Look, your fiancé actually has a social media account. She even took a video, but it seems to be crooked. That's right. She can't see, so she can't capture the outside clearly. Jiang Yandong opened the video and listened to Tang Gui's words. He felt a little guilty and said, I won't go to the gathering today. Xiao Gua is too lonely. I'll go back and accompany her. Not only that, he also unlocked his phone, logged into his social media account and followed Tang Gui's new account. Jiang Yandong was an esports genius. Since he became famous, many people were paying attention to him. The number of people he followed was only a few. Just as he started following Tang Gui, the fans found out about it. Then, those who still had doubts also believed that this new social media account really belonged to Jiang Yandong's fiancé. People with all kinds of thoughts began to pay attention to Tang Guo. Tang Guo listened to the system telling her that the number of fans was skyrocketing. There was a smile on her lips. This was just as she thought. As long as Jiang Yandong followed her, her account would attract a lot of attention. And most of these people who were paying attention were Jiang Yandong's fans. There could be malice in this, but there could also be curiosity. No matter what they were thinking, from the day they started paying attention to her, she would show them the true host. As long as Jiang Yandong dared to cheat on her, she would make his fans hate him as much as they liked him in the beginning. You're the master of the esports world, yet you still want to wash your hands clean after cheating. Dream on. When Jiang Yandong came back, he saw Tang Guo holding her phone and listening to the messages under her account. This was an auxiliary tool that could be used to read messages. Xiao Guo. Brother Yandong, why are you so early today? Jiang Yandong sat beside her and glanced at her phone. Why did you think of opening a social media account? I wanted to find something to do, but I couldn't do anything else, so I opened an account to record my feelings. I want to share with everyone the happy things that Brother Yandong and I are doing. Jiang Yandong certainly wouldn't say anything at this time. Let's go out and have fun today. Sure. Chapter 1977. Not only did Tang Guo agree to go out with Jiang Yandong, she even made Jiang Yandong record a video on the spot. Of course, this time, Jiang Yandong was the one holding the phone, so he wouldn't miss the shot this time. Tang Guo faced the camera happily. Regardless of whether they saw it or not, anyone who watched the video could feel her happiness. Brother Yandong came back early today. We're going out to play. After this video was posted, it caused another stir. On the way, they met many good places that Jiang Yandong talked about. Tang Guo would make a video with him as a souvenir. Today, Jiang Yandong felt especially guilty. Naturally, he would do whatever she said. System, scum, you're done for. This is the host's gentle trap. Jiang Yandong's fans went crazy. In the morning, they were still questioning whether this social media account was fake. Now that Jiang Yandong appeared in the video, and it was even a live video, the screen was full of jealousy. Then, everyone left comments. Most of them were, Jiang is so gentle. Jiang's fiancé is so happy. If I can be with Jiang, I'm willing to lose anything. Fans were sometimes so crazy. Almost no one would mention what this girl had done for Jiang Yandong. When Tang Guo heard the system's feedback, she wasn't angry at all. What was there to be anxious about? It was only the first day. These were all Jiang Yandong's fans. Naturally, they would speak up for him and pay attention to him. She would let everyone slowly understand what kind of person she was. Xiao Lian, who had already been discharged from the hospital, was also informed that Jiang Yandong's fiancé had opened a social media account. She logged in and saw the videos that were updated in real time. In the video, Tang Guo and Jiang Yandong appeared together. It made her feel inexplicably uncomfortable. She quickly closed the video, but couldn't help but click on the follow button. Ah, Xian, what are you looking at? Linley noticed that Lin Xian was staring at his phone with great interest. He didn't even hear what Linley was saying. He walked over and found that Lin Xian was actually looking at Tang Guo's social media account. He patted Lin Xian on the shoulder with a smile and said, "You really know something about Jiang Yandong. Why are you also looking at his fiancé's account? Ah, Xian, although you have some ability, you can't have any crooked thoughts, right? This girl is quite pitiful." After a pause, Linley said, "Originally, she was innocent, but because of the vicious competition in the esports world back then, she was hurt. Fortunately, Jiang Yandong has a conscience and is willing to take care of her for the rest of her life. This was also true. Even if they couldn't beat Jiang Yandong in a fight, they still had a good impression of him. A responsible and responsible person would be respected no matter where he went. Don't worry, I'm not. Isn't Jiang Yandong on the list? Lin Xian said calmly, I'm analyzing Jiang Yandong's personality. Perhaps he was pretending in the competition. Now that we're in his social circle, we might be able to find something else. Lin Li felt that his cousin was crazy. What kind of esports was he playing? He was simply a research maniac. They didn't have the patience to watch all of Jiang Yandong's videos. This kid didn't get tired of watching them. He even made a thick notebook and shared it with them. Needless to say, after watching it, they understood more about Jiang Yandong. They even learned some useful things. Chapter 1978. It's a new day. Brother Yandong went to school early. I'm a little worried that his body won't be able to take the training after class. Maybe when Madam Chen comes over, I should ask her to make some soup for Brother Yandong to nourish his body. If it's possible, I can make it myself. It's not hot this morning. It's a little cool, but standing on the balcony, I can feel the warmth of the morning sun on my skin. It's a sunny day again. How nice. The fans woke up early in the morning to watch Tangua's updates. Sure enough, at around 8 o'clock, they posted a video. They clicked on the video. As expected, the best part of the video was not found. Because they were taking photos of the balcony today, it was much better than taking photos of a large area of the wall. Listening to the girl with the sweet and gentle voice speak, they gradually quieted down. Actually, this girl was pretty good. She wasn't as bad as they thought. Many of them were fans of Jiang Yandong later on. They didn't know about their past. Now that Tangua appeared in the public eye, as long as they followed her regularly, there would definitely be old fans who would talk about her and Jiang Yandong's past in the comments. Naturally, more and more people would know about their past. Being in close contact with such a person, other than crazy fans, no one would have any ill intentions towards this kind and beautiful girl who was wholeheartedly in love with Jiang Yandong. It was only the second day, but the comments below the video's update had become much gentler. There were even people who sent their blessings. There were two very special audience members. One was Xiao Lian, and the other was Lin Xian. Today, I plan to watch Brother Yandong's competition. Every time, he says that I must inform him when I want to watch. He's so busy. Other than not being able to watch, there's nothing inconvenient about it. If I go quietly, I might even be able to give him a surprise. Many fans were a little annoyed when they saw this. Why didn't they fight for the tickets earlier? But this didn't stop people from going over. They quietly squatted outside the competition venue. Soon, they saw the girl with the guide stick get out of the car and slowly walk over. With a smile on her face, she thanked those who made way for her. Originally, they wanted to go up, but they realized that other than being blind, she really didn't need anyone's help. The people around her only needed to walk carefully and not run. They just needed to give her some space. Lin Xian originally wanted to go up directly, but then he found that those people seemed to know Tangua and automatically made way for her. At this time, it would not be good for him to go up. However, he still played a trick and changed his ticket. This time, he didn't intend to greet her. Unexpectedly, when he sat down, he heard the girl's voice beside him. Are you Mr. Lin? Lin Xian was a little surprised. After confirming that she hadn't seen him, he said, It's me. How did you know it was me, Miss Tang? I smell a faint scent of incense. Every time I come here, I meet many people. However, the faint scent of incense on Mr. Lin's body is very special. No one else has it. What a coincidence. It is quite a coincidence. Is Mr. Lin a fan of Brother Yendong? Lin Xian quickly denied it. No. He couldn't possibly be Jiang Yandong's fan. They were rivals. Chapter 1979. Then why does Mr. Lin come every time? Tang Gua asked with a smile. For some reason, Lin Xian didn't want to lie to her. He said honestly, I might be his opponent in the future. I'm here to learn from his strengths and find out his weaknesses. I plan to defeat this legend in the future. Oh, is that so? Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. Why, you don't believe me? Mr. Lin is a man with a dream. Lin Xian replied, no, I'm a man with a goal. Defeating Jiang Yandong is my goal. Brother Yendong is very powerful. It won't be easy for Mr. Lin to defeat him. Tang Gua continued. The system was laughing crazily. Host, aren't you afraid that your big cute bald head will be sad? But it's good to have a goal. I choose to give you my blessings. Lin Xian couldn't help but ask a very stupid question. If one day I defeat Jiang Yandong, will you be sad? No, I'll just feel regretful. No matter where it is, there will always be talents in every generation. Brother Yendong is a human, not a god. There are no legends in this world that are undefeatable. One generation will replace another. Even so, Brother Yendong is still the most powerful in my opinion. System, who can withstand such a fatal blow? Hearing such an answer, Lin Xian didn't want to continue this topic. He felt a little depressed, but he didn't know why. I'll help you explain it later. How about it? Okay. How could Tang Gua refuse? But before Lin Xian spoke, she asked Lin Xian to help her record a video of Jiang Yandong walking on stage and posted it on her social media account. She even added a happy voice message, everyone around me is saying that Brother Yendong is the most handsome. I think so too. Today's Brother Yendong, victory belongs to him. Lin Xian clicked on the post and glanced at it. He regretted it. He shouldn't have made Jiang Yandong look so handsome. In the following days, Tang Gua repeated the post almost every day. She took a picture of the scenery outside the window. Of course, as long as it was taken by herself, it would be crooked and she would not be able to capture the best view. She said the same words of concern. Every word that came out of her mouth always made people feel tender. Other than the first 2 times, Jiang Yandong also paid attention to Tang Gua's updates and liked them. Later on, he almost forgot about it, but Tang Gua's fans kept increasing. As she recorded her life every day, she expressed her love for Jiang Yandong, as well as everyone's understanding of everything that happened between the two of them. There were already very few fans who thought that she was not good enough for Jiang Yandong. On the contrary, in the hearts of the fans, Tang Gua had been labeled as Jiang Yandong's future wife. Anyone who surfed the internet would know that Jiang Yandong's fiancé was infatuated, gentle, and good-natured. It had only been 10 days since Tang Gua registered her social media account. However, Jiang Yandong's days were not peaceful. He would often meet Xiao Lian. Although the two of them were not on good terms when they met, for some reason, they were meeting more and more often. Under the system's notification, Tang Gua found out that Xiao Lian was also playing games. She even became Jiang Yandong's private rival. Of course, Jiang Yandong did not know that the person who was good at playing games was Xiao Lian. They were in the same team in the same game. Jiang Yandong used a smurf account and often played in friendly matches. Chapter 1980. In the beginning, the two of them each took a side in the fanbase match. When they fought, Xiao Lian was slightly weaker than Jiang Yandong. Later on, when they formed a team, the two of them cooperated very well. During that match, all the people in Jiang Yandong's club watched. When the coach saw Xiao Lian's performance, he thought of recruiting her to the club. Because all these years, although Jiang Yandong was indeed good, he had never had a teammate who could cooperate well with him. And Xiao Lian's performance now made him think. In less than 2 days, Tang Guo heard that Xiao Lian had joined the club. Of course, when she appeared, Jiang Yandong was indeed shocked. He did not expect that this girl, who had been a thief and helped him, would be so good at the game. The two of them were still quarrelsome, but when they were practicing the game, they were surprisingly cooperative and did not bring their personal feelings into the game. But after the training, many people could see that the two of them were not on good terms. Brother Yan Dong is working so hard every day. Should I ask Madam Chen to make some soup and send it to him? The system really wanted to cover its face, if it had one. In the afternoon, Tang Guo sent a video message saying that she wanted to send some soup to Jiang Yandong to nourish his body. The fans left comments saying that they envied Jiang Yandong for having such a gentle fiancé. Tang Guo's appearance in the club was a little strange. Especially now, Jiang Yandong was not the only one who had a special feeling for Xiao Lian. Xiao Lian's male supporting characters also had their eyes on her. When Xiao Lian saw Tang Guo, she almost did not dare to make a sound. But she couldn't just keep quiet. The moment she spoke, Tang Guo recognized her. Miss Xiao. Xiao Lian smiled awkwardly. It's me. So it's really you. Why are you here? Tang Guo did not mean any harm. She was just curious. When Yunyang, who was concerned about Xiao Lian, walked to her side and explained, Xiao Lian is also a member of the team now. She is very outstanding. If there are no other problems, it won't be long before she plays. All of them were looking forward to seeing Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong working together. What kind of visual feast would it be? Really? That's great. Tang Guo said happily. Then, under everyone's incredulous gazes, she pulled out her phone, identified the direction of Xiao Lian's voice, and walked up to her. I must remember this happy day and share it with my fans. The fans all knew that a female member had joined the team. However, they did not expect that Tang Guo would ask this female member to take a video. Xiao Lian could not refuse and could only go on camera with Tang Guo. This is Miss Xiao. Last time, it was all thanks to her that Brother Yan Dong was able to avoid the chilly water. I just heard that Miss Xiao plays the game very well and is also a member of the team. Soon, she might play. I'm really looking forward to it. System, this woman, he would be a fool to believe her. Tang Guo was satisfied. She happily took the blind guiding stick and left, leaving behind a group of people with strange expressions and Xiao Lian, who did not know what to say. That night, Tang Guo did not sleep. She sat in the quiet room and listened to the system report the situation to her. Yes, Tongzi, I believe in you. You must protect our night luminescent pearl. Chapter 1981. There were only a few days left before the exhibition of the night luminescent pearl. Because this was the biggest night luminescent pearl, it had already attracted the attention of all parties. Currently, many people in the city were waiting for the day when the night luminescent pearl would be exhibited. For the exhibition of this night luminescent pearl, the biggest exhibition hall in the city would be opened at night. Because under the lights at night, among the countless jewels, people could clearly see how brilliant and unique this night luminescent pearl was. Using countless jewels to store a night luminescent pearl was also unprecedented. Regardless of whether it was the citizens of the city or those from other cities who came because of its reputation, they were all looking forward to this day. This night luminescent pearl was transported with all kinds of camouflage methods to prevent it from being stolen. After all, this was a special world with martial arts. Even if there were perfect defenses, it would still be easy for it to be stolen. Xiao Lian's grandfather used many days to finally determine the real location of the night luminescent pearl. Today, he planned to go and take the night luminescent pearl away. For this, he prepared a lot of things. He even rehearsed it in his head several times. After confirming that there were no loopholes, he secretly went to the place where the night luminescent pearl was stored. Normal defenses could not do anything to him. In addition, there were people who were working with him from the inside and outside, so he understood the situation inside. Breaking through the first few layers of defenses was a piece of cake. Tanghua sat on the sofa in the room with her eyes closed, watching a dark figure jumping up and down in a certain place, constantly avoiding the infrared rays. His figure was strange, and even the camera might not be able to capture it. Compared to Xiao Lian, the older the ginger, the wiser. However, under the surveillance of the system, was it useful? When Xiao Lian's grandfather walked to the front of the night luminescent pearl and looked at the box, his eyes could not help but reveal a hint of joy. Of course, he did not directly go over to touch it, because this was the most dangerous place. If he reached over directly, the laser line might cut off his hands in an instant. This was not a joke. He had to first destroy the system here, avoid the laser line, and quickly take the night luminescent pearl away. When he came here earlier, the spy had already turned off the cameras. Therefore, even if those people realized that something was wrong, they would not be able to see the situation clearly. In that case, he needed to destroy all the defenses within a minute, take the night luminescent pearl, and escape. Everything seemed to be going smoothly. He had already seen the laser cutting line disappear. He quickly reached for the luminous pearl. However, all the alarms suddenly went off. At the same time, he felt some kind of danger and quickly retracted his hand. However, he still felt a sharp pain coming from his hand. When he looked down, he realized that his hand was injured. A layer of skin had been scraped off the back of his hand. At the same time, the surrounding lights all lit up and focused on him. The place where the night luminescent pearls were stored had also activated the highest level of emergency defense. The surroundings were filled with terrifying lasers, and he had no way of getting there. No, it should be said that the room where the night luminescent pearls were stored was filled with terrifying lasers that could take a person's life. As long as he took a small step, he had no doubt that his leg would be cut off. He had been a godly thief all his life and came from a family of godly thieves. This was the first time the old man had encountered such a scene. The system was happily controlling everything on the other side, surrounding Xiao Lian's grandfather in the middle. Chapter 1982. As long as the other party didn't want to die, he couldn't move. Such a big commotion quickly alerted the caretakers. Xiao Lian's grandfather also didn't expect that he would be caught for stealing a night luminescent pearl. What was more terrifying was that when those people walked up, the laser lines would automatically open up a path. When they walked up to him, they didn't even see him and directly pricked his arm with a needle. When he felt his body go numb and couldn't use any strength, he realized that things were really bad. Previously, he was still thinking about whether he should take advantage of those people to catch him and escape. How did these people become so smart? Without saying a word, they pricked him with a needle and didn't give him any time to react. Thinking about the past, even if the entire city's police force was mobilized, they wouldn't be able to catch him. He turned around and looked at the night luminescent pearl's position, feeling very indignant. Nowadays, technology was developing too quickly. He didn't lose to these people, he was defeated by technology. There really are people who stole the night luminescent pearl. Luckily, that big boss is willing to help us. Yeah, we didn't believe it at first. Luckily, that big boss is very capable. Through a computer, he made our boss believe in his ability. You guys haven't seen the situation inside. That thief is trapped in the laser lines with a helpless expression. He can't even move. Ha ha ha, we've been guarding behind the surveillance cameras. The big boss even told us that there's a spy among us. I didn't expect it to be true. One of the security guards was holding a person who was wearing the same clothes as them. He slapped the back of the young man's head. You brat, you didn't expect the big boss to be so powerful, right? If it wasn't for the big boss's reminder, we really would have fallen into your trap. I didn't expect you to be a spy. The system watched all of this silently. Even if someone was calling him and contacting the temporary account he used previously, he ignored it. Tongzi, the big boss they're talking about is you. The system chuckled. It's me. When I was controlling their defense program, I realized that there were too many loopholes and it wasn't precise enough. It's fine to deal with ordinary thieves, but for a thief like the Shao group, those things won't work at all. So, I disguised myself and contacted the boss of the security guards. At the same time, I showed my skills and reprogrammed them. Did you see those terrifying laser beams from before? No matter how capable he was still made of flesh and blood. In the dense laser beams, whatever he stretched out his hand would be cut off. Sure enough, that old man is still afraid of death. He doesn't even dare to move. Tanguo couldn't help but laugh. Then, were you the one who suggested giving the thieves anesthetics? That's right, such a powerful thief. I told them that the thief might use their people as hostages to escape. Why don't you prick him with an anesthetic needle when he's not paying attention at the beginning? By the time he realizes what's going on, he'll have no choice but to accept his punishment obediently. Tanguo praised, Tongzi, you're getting smarter with age. I learned all of this from Great Host. Oh right, Great Host, I've also collected a lot of evidence of this thief's previous crimes. I've sorted out the places where he hid his stolen goods and the evidence he left behind after his transactions. Currently, it had already been sent to many people's mailboxes. He probably won't be able to come out. Tanguo, her little Tongzi has turned bad. Chapter 1983. The Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition was just a few days away. After Xiao Lian's grandfather was caught that day, he was secretly kept in custody by the police. Especially when the higher-ups issued an urgent document, they were not allowed to release him regardless of the reason. It was said that this thief might be involved in a bigger case and they needed time to verify it. This was also related to the disappearance of several precious cultural relics. Xiao Lian's grandfather might not contact Xiao Lian for 10 days to half a month. Naturally, Xiao Lian did not know that her grandfather had been caught because he had failed to steal the Night Luminescent Pearl. Moreover, there were countless pieces of evidence that pointed to him being related to several cases of missing cultural relics. Even if someone knew about it, there was no chance for him to be released on bail. After going to school, Xiao Lian went to the club to train. Her cooperation with Jiang Yandong was getting better and better. Apart from training games, the two of them still did not see eye to eye with each other. They often bickered with each other. But at crucial times, the two of them had a tacit understanding. The so-called relationship was formed by quarreling. Although the two of them still did not see eye to eye with each other, it was still the same. But in their hearts, something had already taken root and sprouted. The system had already told Tanguo all these things. She did not mind at all. She would update her video every day. Her fans had already habitually turned on their phones to watch videos taken from bad locations. Listening to her gentle and sweet voice always made them feel better. From the beginning, they did not approve of her. But now, they liked this simple and infatuated girl from the bottom of their hearts. Her life was really too simple. Apart from eating and sleeping, she would shoot videos and nag at them about Jiang Yandong. Basically, she would go to the club every day. Sometimes, she would ask Jiang Yandong to shoot a video with her. Many times, they realized that she would ask the only female member in the team, Xiao Lian, to shoot videos and take photos. She would even ask them if Xiao Lian was very pretty. Occasionally, she would tell them that Xiao Lian would play with Jiang Yandong in the future. She told them that the coach had said that Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong's cooperation was perfect. She even said that she was looking forward to that day's competition. At first, they didn't find anything. After all, what Tanghua had shared was about the club. Moreover, all the people that were presented were in that phone frame. Gradually, they began to pay more attention to Xiao Lian. Xiao Lian had a public account, so she naturally gained a wave of fans. Xiao Lian was flattered by the fact that she had gained fans who called her every day. It was the day of the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Since Tanghua could not see, Jiang Yandong naturally did not expect it. He told her in advance that he would buy a ticket and take her to see it. He didn't even talk to Tanghua about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. He thought that she didn't know about it. However, for some reason, he had bought 2 tickets beforehand. An exhibition. Xiao Lian was a little surprised. What exhibition? She didn't think about the Night Luminescent Pearl at all. After all, she thought that the Night Luminescent Pearl had been stolen by her grandfather long ago. Even if she went today, she probably wouldn't be able to see it. The Night Luminescent Pearl. It's said to be the biggest Night Luminescent Pearl in the world. Jiang Yandong said, I bought 2 tickets before, but then I remembered that Xiaoguo couldn't see it. If I took her to that place and she couldn't see it, it would only make her sad. If you don't have anything to do, let's go together. Chapter 1984. Xiao Lian didn't reject him. She only hesitated for a moment before agreeing. She thought so too. If Tanghua couldn't see and brought her to see the Night Luminescent Pearls, wouldn't that be stabbing her in the heart? Everyone else seemed to be busy today and Jiang Yandong was going to see the exhibition alone. She felt a little sorry for him. He didn't dare to bring Tanghua to see the exhibition, afraid that he would poke at her sore spot. All right. Although you're usually a little annoying, it's quite pitiful to think that you're going to see the exhibition alone. Because of this sentence, the two of them started fighting again. In the end, they went to the exhibition hall together. The system asked softly. At the same time, it scanned the surroundings to see if a certain guy was around. After a while, it indeed detected a certain guy who was approaching Tanghua. However, that guy didn't seem to be alone today. There were a few young men and women around him. They were all chatting and laughing as they walked over. Lin Xian saw Tanghua standing outside the exhibition hall at first glance. He couldn't help but quickly walk in front of her. Just as he was in front of her, he heard her voice. Mr. Lin, is that you? Ha, you noticed me again. Miss Tang's nose is really sharp. Lin Xian put his hands in his pockets. If it wasn't for his shiny bald head, he would have attracted a lot of attention. Even so, there were still people looking at him because he was too outstanding. A few others also came forward. When they saw Tanghua, they looked at each other. Tanghua was now an internet celebrity with a lot of fans. They all knew her. Even in the past, they still knew her. Who wouldn't know Jiang Yandong's fiancé? Are you waiting for someone here? Lin Xian asked. Actually, he didn't want to ask this question. Are you here with your fiancé to see the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition? Lin Li also asked, did Jiang Yandong, that rascal, go to buy snacks for you? This group was all straight. From his point of view, Tanguo was standing at the entrance of the exhibition hall with Jiang Yandong. Why wasn't Jiang Yandong by her side? He must have gone to buy snacks that little girls liked. She was his fiancée. Of course, he had to pamper her and buy her delicious food. Wasn't that what he should do? That brat is too careless. No matter what, he should have brought you along to buy it. There are so many people coming and going. If he lost you, let's see if that brat would be anxious. The reason why Linley didn't sound like he hated Jiang Yandong was because Jiang Yandong was willing to take care of Tanguo and get engaged to her. Such an opponent was worthy of respect. Tanguo smiled and shook her head. No, I didn't come here with Brother Yandong. Before Lin Xian could say anything, Linley frowned. It's already so late. Why didn't that kid accompany you here? What is he doing? Lin Xian felt a little helpless. His cousin always snatched the words. Brother Yandong said that he has something to do and will be back a little later today. I was just passing by and heard that there was an exhibition here. It was the world's largest night luminescent pearl. I was a little curious, so I stood here for a while. Tanguo had a sweet smile on her face. She said calmly, if I knew that there was such an exhibition, would have asked Madam Chin to book the tickets for me. Well, I'll go back first. I won't disturb you guys. System, where's the host's conscience? Chapter 1985. Since we're already here, how can we go back? It's a rare night pearl exhibition. If we miss this chance, we don't know when we'll get another one. Linley hurriedly said, come in with us. Although it's inconvenient for you, it's still better to be close to it than not. Brother Lei is right. This night pearl will be exhibited in many cities in the country. After the exhibition, it will be hidden away. You won't be able to see it again even if you want to. Since we're already here, let's go in and take a look. Although Brother Lei always stole his words, he was right about what he said earlier. Tanguo pursed her lips and said, but I didn't buy a ticket, so I can't go in. System, he seemed to have smelled the scent of a white lotus host. She was really good at pretending. Tanguo, you definitely don't know who this exhibition belongs to, right? The person who spoke was a girl. She walked over and hugged Tanguo's arm. She smiled and said, this biggest night pearl belongs to the Lin group. Hence, the exhibition this time also belonged to the Lin group. My surname is Lin. My cousins and everyone in our circle have the surname Lin. Do we need a ticket to go in and see the exhibition? Oh right, I'm Lin Tong. We've met before, but not twice. It's been a long time. Do you still remember? We used to participate in a piano competition together. Tanguo tried to recall and nodded. I remember. You played the piano quite well. No matter how good I was, I couldn't compare to you. All right, come in with us. We're schoolmates. We competed together, so we can be considered half friends. To be honest, none of us have seen this night pearl before. The old ones at home are so afraid that something will go wrong. They don't want us to see it. Under Lin Tong's complaints, they pulled Tanguo in. Lin Xian was on the other side of Tanguo. She couldn't see anything wrong with his face. He didn't talk to Tanguo either. It was as if they weren't close. No one knew that he had met Tanguo countless times and had told her all kinds of exciting events during the competition. Lin Tong was a very outgoing girl. It should be said that the young boys and girls of the Lin family all had good personalities. Even though Tanguo couldn't see, Lin Tong kept holding on to Tanguo's hand. Every time they reached a place, she would stop and tell Tanguo what the jewelry in front of them looked like. Occasionally, Lin Xian would interject and describe the beautiful jewels to her with the most accurate words. Linley would occasionally say a few words, but most of the time, it was Lin Tong and Lin Xian doing the talking. It wasn't until 9:30 that the world's largest luminous pearl was placed at the highest point and presented before everyone's eyes. Under the bright lights, countless people stared at the luminous pearl in a daze. Because it was really big and beautiful. After Lin Tong recovered from her shock, she described the scene of the night luminescent pearl to Tang Guo. Lin Xian did not fall behind. He added from the side and even suggested that they take photos of Tang Guo. Tang Guo directly asked him to help record the video. She stood together with Lin Tong and behind them was the night luminescent pearl. She smiled at the camera and said, "When I passed by the exhibition hall, I heard that there was a night luminescent pearl on display. I met a schoolmate who invited me in to see the night luminescent pearl very enthusiastically. Although I can't see the night luminescent pearl, from my schoolmate's enthusiasm and description, I know that this pearl must be very beautiful. It's a pity that Brother Yan Dong said that he had something to do and couldn't come." System. This was a good trap. Chapter 1986. Tang Guo smiled and even allowed Lin Xian and the rest to show their faces in the video. Even though they were competitors with Jiang Yandong's team, they had no qualms about it at all. They knew Tang Guo in the past. Tang Guo and Lin Tong were in the same batch and had even participated in a piano competition together. As for the rest, other than Lin Xian, they were all seniors of Tang Guo's batch when she was in school. They had all met and known each other before. They did not think that there was anything wrong with their identities appearing in the video. When Tang Guo uploaded the video, it was instantly viewed by countless fans. Fan 1, "Oh my god, did you see those familiar faces in the video? Can you believe it?" Fan 2, "Oh, it's actually them." Fan 3, "Why is Xiao Guo with them?" Fan 4, "Didn't you hear what she said just now? She passed by the exhibition hall and bumped into them. I remember that they are all from the same school. That's our Tong Tong. I remember now. Tong Tong said that she used to have a great rival and that was Xiao Guo." The fans started to talk about it. They remembered that the girl who had lost her eyes was once a talented piano player. Since they were from the same school and knew Lin Tong, it made sense that the rest of them would appear in the video. Fan 5, "Have you seen the exhibition?" Fan 1, "No, I'm busy. I have classes every day. Even if I skip classes, I have to be able to get a ticket." Fan 4, I'm here. I'm going to find Xiao Guo and my beloved Tong Tong now. Since I saw them, I have to get their autographs." Fan 2, "It's a pity that Jiang Yandong is not here. No wonder Xiao Guo is with them. If Jiang Yandong were here, she would be very happy." Unknowingly, the fans' attention had shifted to Tang Guo's side. Now everyone knew that Tang Guo was with Lin Tong and the rest by chance. She did not come with Jiang Yandong because Jiang Yandong said that he had something to do. Many fans were also in the exhibition hall. However, everyone was busy looking at the exhibition, so not many people noticed the post. At this moment, Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian gradually moved closer to Tang Guo in the crowded exhibition hall. System, I see. Tongzi, you're becoming more and more considerate. Let's go over there then. System, alright, this woman is really bad. Tang Guo pulled Lin Tong to Jiang Yandong's position without a trace. It's really a pity that Brother Yan Dong didn't come. Otherwise, he would definitely appreciate such a resplendent treasure. Tang Guo said with some regret. Lin Tong comforted her. The exhibition will last for 3 days. He can't possibly be busy during these 3 days, right? If you're really regretful, call me tomorrow night with Jiang Yandong. I'll bring you in. Thank you so much, Lin Tong. You're welcome. You're my only opponent. Speaking of this, Lin Tong still felt a little regretful. She was such a good person, but she couldn't see him just like that. It made her feel that something was missing in her piano career. Lin Tong inadvertently raised her head and froze on the spot. When she came back to her senses, she quickly pulled Lin Xian beside her and whispered, "Brother Xian, look at who that is. See if I'm mistaken." Lin Xian raised his head and saw Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian slowly walking over. His eyes, which had been full of smiles, became cold. "What's wrong?" Tang Guo felt that the surroundings had quietened down and asked. "System, excitement, they're here." Chapter 1987. It's him. Lin Xian said softly, but he instinctively stood in front of Tang Guo. Tang Guo continued to ask, "What happened? Can you tell me?" Lin Xian, Lin Li, and Lin Tong looked at each other. They looked at Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong, who were approaching from afar. Their faces were full of surprise. They did not know what to say. Previously, Tang Guo had said very clearly that Jiang Yandong told her that he was busy, so he definitely did not have time to come to the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Moreover, the tickets for the exhibition hall were sold a month in advance. Although the exhibition hall would keep a portion of the tickets, in case the tickets were leaked or given away, it was 3 days in advance. In any case, there was no way to sell the tickets in such a short time. Unless they, the Lin family, brought the guests in. In summary, Jiang Yandong had gotten the tickets for the exhibition hall at least 3 days in advance. He knew about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition, but he did not tell Tang Guo. They remembered clearly that Tang Guo said that she passed by here and heard about the biggest Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition. Then, could they conclude that Jiang Yandong knew about the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition and got the tickets, but he did not intend to tell Tang Guo about it? No matter what the reason was, they felt that Jiang Yandong was wrong. If they considered that Tang Guo could not see and he came alone or asked a friend of the same sex to come, although they would feel that it was wrong, at least they would not have any messy thoughts. But Jiang Yandong lied to Tang Guo and said that he was busy. In the end, he invited a beautiful woman to watch the exhibition with him. Most importantly, this woman was his most compatible teammate. A subtle feeling pervaded the air around them. They looked at Tang Guo's puzzled face and did not know if they should tell her about it. If they did not tell her, it would be lying to her. She was alone and had the right to know what her fiancé was doing. If they told her, would she be sad? It was said that for people with impaired vision, their entire world was dark. It was precisely because of this that they were the most sensitive. It was hard for them to imagine if she would mind or be sad after knowing the situation. Tong Tong. Xiao Guo. Just as they were surrounding Tang Guo, preventing Jiang Yandong from discovering her existence and preventing her from smelling Jiang Yandong's scent, 2 cheers came from behind. They hurriedly looked up and saw a few good-looking young ladies running towards them with quick steps. They saw that Lin Tong and Tang Guo had been surrounded. "Tong Tong, I'm your fan. Can you give me an autograph?" In the face of her fans' enthusiasm, Lin Tong nodded in a daze. She never let go of Tang Guo's arm. She breathed a sigh of relief. With such an interruption, at least they had a buffer. No matter what, Jiang Yandong's image in their hearts instantly collapsed. "Xiao Guo, can you give me an autograph too?" A girl handed a pen to Tang Guo and said, "To be honest, before I got to know you better, I didn't really like you. But ever since I heard your voice, I've developed a habit of checking your status every day. Listening to it in the morning can clear my mind. Listening to it at night can get rid of the impatience of the day. It sounds a little exaggerated, but I'm telling the truth. Every time I'm nervous, I'll be able to calm down when I hear your voice." Chapter 1988. So, Sister Xiaogua, can you give me an autograph? Tangua took the pen and said, of course, but I haven't written in a long time, so I might write crookedly. It's okay, as long as it's written by you, I'll like it. To be honest, they really liked this girl who talked about her daily life every day. Even though she seemed to be mumbling to herself, she could always make people feel that her world was beautiful and pure. Sister Xiaogua, were you guys taking a video just now? Can I take a photo with you guys? Of course. Tangua didn't refuse. At the same time, she secretly said to the system, give me Jiang Yandong's location. It'll be a waste if I don't take a photo of him. The system already didn't like Jiang Yandong. That scumbag, he asked for it. He didn't bring his fiancée to the exhibition, saying that she couldn't see and that it would make her sad. In reality, he just didn't want to bring his host here. The system gave Tangua the location. Lin Tong and the others saw that she was immersed in interacting with her fans and didn't have the heart to disturb her. Lin Xian glanced at Jiang Yandong. Perhaps it was because there were people coming and going, plus Xiao Lian was talking to Jiang Yandong about something, and the two of them were taking photos, so Jiang Yandong didn't notice them. It should be said that Jiang Yandong didn't expect that Tangguo would appear here. When Tangguo pulled her fans into the camera, she didn't know if it was a coincidence or not, but her back was facing Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. Lin Xian looked at the camera and saw that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were clearly shown. Even though the video looked small, if it was really taken, attentive fans would definitely realize that it was Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. Lin Xian had wanted to say something, but Linli suddenly grabbed his arm and gave him a meaningful smile. Linli even patted him on the shoulder. He instantly understood. Since Jiang Yandong dared to do it, there was no need to be afraid of being photographed. Lin Tong also understood. She took the initiative to let go of Tangua's arm, intending to make space for Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian to be in the shot. Xiaogua, you and your little fan will be recording a video together. I won't be participating. The camera is only so big. When the little fan heard this, she was very happy and showed a grateful look to Lin Tong. Under the complex and meaningful gazes of the young men of the Lin family, Lin Xian helped Tangguo record a video with her fans. Intentionally or unintentionally, he captured a clear picture of Jiang Yandong. If Brother Yandong was here, I would definitely share it with him. I have a small fan too. When Lin Xian heard this, his hand trembled and he almost dropped his phone. He glanced at the video. With this sentence, he could already imagine what would happen to Jiang Yandong next. Let me help you send it up. Lin Xian said. Tanggua smiled and nodded. Then I'll have to trouble you. Lin Xian helped Tanggua post the video. Although it had just been posted and probably no one would notice anything, he was in no hurry. However, he was not anxious at all. Soon, many people would know what Jiang Yandong was doing today. The little fan was satisfied and planned to leave with the notebook signed by Tanggua and Lin Tong. They didn't expect that when they raised their heads, they would see Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian walking over. The two little fans were stunned on the spot. Is that Jiang? Yes. The girl tugging on his sleeve is Xiao Lian. That's right. Didn't Xiaogua say that Jiang is very busy today? Yes. Then, why is Jiang here, and with Xiao Lian? Chapter 1989. When the two of them were talking, they didn't lower their voices, so Tanggua could hear them clearly. What are you talking about? Is the Jiang you're talking about Brother Yandong? Hearing Tanggua's voice, the two fans' expressions changed. Just like Lin Tong and the rest, they didn't know what to say. No matter whether Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong were innocent or not, for Tang Guo to be here, it wasn't a happy thing. Not bringing his fiancée to the Night Luminescent Pearl exhibition, but with a female teammate, it was hard not to think about it. Brother Yandong, is that you? I can already smell your scent. Tang Guo quickly ran in the direction of Jiang Yandong. Seeing her movements, Lin Xian quickly chased after her, and so did Lin Tong and Lin Lei. They had no choice but to face it now. They thought about it and decided that she had to know about it, even though they didn't know how to deal with it later. Jiang Yandong looked at Tang Guo, who had chased after him, and was stunned on the spot. At this moment, Xiao Lian was tugging at his arm and saying something. Just now, the two of them had been fooling around because of some small matter. Xiao Guo. Jiang Yandong shouted and asked instinctively, "Why are you here?" Then where's Brother Yandong? Even though Tang Guo couldn't see, she could smell Jiang Yandong's scent and what she had just heard. Xiao Lian is here too, right? She's right beside you, isn't she? The two little fans next to him had already talked about this matter in the group. They even took a picture of the two of them and explained the cause and effect of the incident. There were quite a lot of Jiang Yandong's fans in this exhibition hall. More and more people gathered around, but they didn't come up to claim it. They all secretly took out their phones and took pictures. Jiang Yandong didn't know that many of the big groups were talking about how he and his female teammate, Xiao Lian, had snuck into the exhibition hall and were caught by his fiancée. Combined with the video that Tang Guo had posted earlier, regardless of whether Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were innocent or not, there was no way to erase this scum. Jiang Yandong didn't know what to say. After all, he had called Tang Guo and told her that he was very busy today and that he would go back. He wanted her to rest early. Xiao Lian had already let go of Jiang Yandong's arm. She didn't do it on purpose. She just couldn't help but tug. Actually, he still had a question in his heart. Had her grandfather not done anything to Yi Mingzhu yet? Maybe he was waiting until the exhibition hall was closed. Now that Tang Guo had seen it, she remembered what had happened a few times and felt a little guilty. Seeing that Jiang Yandong didn't know how to answer, she explained, "Xiao Guo, don't misunderstand. Jiang Yandong finished his work and someone gave him 2 tickets. It was very late and he thought you were asleep. If you didn't come, it would be a waste, so we came." "Yes, Xiao Guo. It's like this. You have to believe me." Jiang Yandong continued, "She's Xiao Lian's teammate. If it weren't for the fact that these tickets are more precious and there's no one else here, I definitely wouldn't have come with her." Tang Guo said very calmly, "Brother Yandong, you should know that even if it's early in the morning, if you want to come, just give me a call and I'll come to accompany you to watch the exhibition. Even if I can't see it, I'm still happy that you can see it. Why didn't you call me when you got the tickets?" Chapter 1990. Jiang Yandong saw that there were more and more people around them. He walked up to Tang Guo and said in a low voice, "Let's go back first, okay? Brother Yandong, you haven't answered my question. Why didn't you give me a call when you got the ticket? It's not too late now. It's not even 10 o'clock yet. I heard that this exhibition is very special. For the safety of Night Luminescent Pearl, there's a time limit for entry. If you miss the time, you can't enter again. This means that you've already entered before 7 o'clock. Is 7 o'clock late? And you're not allowed to go out in the middle of the exhibition either, unless the exhibition ends. I remember that you called me at 6 o'clock in the morning. You know my schedule. Under normal circumstances, I only go to bed between 10 o'clock and 10:30. Jiang Yandong was speechless. That's right. Why was she so clear? He looked at the few young men and women from the Lin family standing behind Tang Gua and instantly understood. It was no surprise that someone from the Lin family had brought her in. Xiao Gua, I was just afraid that you wouldn't be able to see Night Luminescent Pearl and would be disappointed. That's why I didn't dare to call you. Don't you understand that whether I can see the beauty of this world or not, as long as you're by my side, I'll think that this world is beautiful? You'd rather bring Xiaolian here than ask me. Brother Yan Dong, you've disappointed me. This scene was captured by some fans and passers-by. It didn't take long for it to be posted on social media and was watched by many people. Xiao Gua, Brother Yan Dong, do you think that I'm trouble? No, no, if you only chose to get engaged to me because of guilt, you still have a chance to regret it now. Although I really want to be with you and spend the rest of my life with you, I don't want to be a heavy burden to you. Xiao Gua, let's go back, Brother Yan Dong, the exhibition closes at 12 o'clock. You're not allowed to go out in the middle. It's rare to see such a grand occasion. Take a good look at the exhibition. You can also think about the problem between us. If you really think that I'm a burden, then let's call off the engagement. I don't want to be a burden to you. After Tang Guo finished speaking, she ignored Jiang Yandong. Lin Tong hurriedly came up and held her arm. Come and play with us. All right. Lin Tong, you didn't know what to tell me when you saw Brother Yan Dong and the others, right? Lin Tong was silent for a moment as she looked at Lin Xian. Lin Li didn't know what to say. After a pause, he replied, yes. You said before that he was very busy, so we didn't know what to say to you. You can just tell me directly. Although I can't see, I don't want anyone to hide the truth from me. Maybe I'm really a burden to Brother Yan Dong. It's just that some of the things I did before made him feel guilty and burdened. If he only got engaged to me out of guilt, it would have been better to make things clear from the start. Lin Tong said softly, I'm just afraid that you'll be sad. Everyone knows that you like Jiang Yandong a lot. If Brother Yan Dong only felt guilty towards me, I would still know. Lin Tong added, I don't think there's anything between him and Xiao Lian. As for their relationship, it's probably just a misunderstanding. Tang Gua didn't say anything. She lowered her head and smiled. Chapter 1991. They weren't even together yet, but they had to bear the pressure and public opinion. If Xiao Lian really didn't have any thoughts about Jiang Yandong, then she could just turn around and leave at this time and resume her normal life. She wouldn't be involved in this and she would be able to easily break out of this situation. But Xiao Lian wouldn't leave. The members of the team wouldn't let her go. Jiang Yandong wouldn't let her go either. Because at this time, Jiang Yandong thought that there was nothing between him and Xiao Lian. He wasn't afraid of others seeing it. But when Xiao Lian was being criticized and looked pitiful, wouldn't Jiang Yandong comfort her and take care of her? Would he gradually realize that he actually liked Xiao Lian? Liking Xiao Lian was true love. It was a passionate love. At that time, one side would be filled with guilt and responsibility, while the other side would be true love. Under normal circumstances, the male lead would choose true love. Because often at this time, Xiao Lian would be in danger and Jiang Yandong would release his hidden love. At that time, he would realize that he loved Xiao Lian so much that he wouldn't care about public opinion. He would rather be scolded and choose to be with Xiao Lian. Tang Gua had been waiting for this day. If Jiang Yandong were to be a good person, then she would have lost. Jiang Yandong, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come, Xiao Lian said with some self-blame as she watched Tang Gua, Lin Tong and the others leave. Jiang Yandong shook his head. Xiao Gua is more sensitive because she can't see. This isn't your fault. I didn't consider this. I made you suffer tonight. Please don't take it to heart. I don't mind at all. She clearly misunderstood. You can talk to her when we get out. Let's not walk too far. It's not good if people see us. There's nothing between us. We're teammates. Why can't we be together? It's easier for people to misunderstand if we keep hiding. Jiang Yandong said frankly, there are only 2 hours left. Since we're already here, let's continue watching. As for Xiaoguo, I'll explain it to him when I get back. She wasn't like that before. Don't be angry. After all, she can't see, so she might think too much. How can I be angry? I just hope that you two can reconcile soon. After talking for a long time, the two of them continued to look at the exhibition together. They had no idea that there was a huge argument going on social media and in some groups. They were all talking about how Jiang Yandong went to the exhibition with the opposite sex and abandoned his fiancée at home. Who would have thought that he would be caught by his fiancée in the exhibition hall? The video of their conversation was also recorded. Tang Guo's previous video was also viewed by many people. When they discovered that in one of the videos, they could vaguely see Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian fooling around in the back, their expressions were very strange. In just a few short days, the news of the esports genius Jiang Yandong falling in love with someone else spread like wildfire online. Before the exhibition hall was closed, Tang called Jiang Yandong and told him that she was going to Lin Tong's house as a guest and would not be going back. She told him to go back alone and to think about their relationship. Jiang Yandong really did not expect that things would turn out like this. All along, Tang Guo had been very obedient in front of him. After leaving the exhibition hall, Xiao Lian kept apologizing to Jiang Yandong, saying that it was all her fault. Xiao Guo and I were at odds. It has nothing to do with you. It's late. Let's go back. Chapter 1992. The next day, Jiang Yandong was already being scolded on the internet for being a jerk. The gaming circle was actually a very small circle for ordinary people. This was the first time the club had encountered something like this. They didn't expect it to reach such a stage. The entire internet was talking about how Jiang Yandong was a jerk who had betrayed his fiancée. Seeing this, they naturally knew that for such a huge commotion to occur, it was definitely done deliberately by someone. Ever since that incident, Jiang Yandong had indeed quieted down a lot. Now that the other party had found a weakness, they would definitely try their best to slander Jiang Yandong. Early in the morning, Jiang Yandong was called to the club. At the same time, Xiao Lian was also called over. Previously, when the two of them were fighting, they didn't think much of it. The coach was still regretting that if Jiang Yandong didn't have a fiancée, he could have formed a couple with Xiao Lian. Perhaps it would have attracted a lot of people. Now, the situation was not good for Jiang Yandong. They had already tried their best to suppress the public opinion online, but Tang Guo's videos proved that Jiang Yandong had used the excuse that he was busy to go to the exhibition with Xiao Lian. It was clearly filmed. The entire club was a little quiet. Boss, I'm sorry. I didn't expect it to blow up. Jiang Yandong put down his phone. And Xiao Lian, I caused you to be scolded by everyone. Xiao Lian also felt wronged. Now, everyone on the internet was calling her a mistress, a white lotus, saying that she had ruined other people's relationships. She clearly didn't do anything. Wasn't she just invited to the Night Pearl exhibition? Now, this matter has to be resolved. The one who started the trouble should end it. We have to let Xiaoguo do it, the coach said. Have you explained it to her clearly? Jiang Yandong, yesterday, she said she was going to Lin Tong's house as a guest. I just asked Madam Qin and she's not back yet. She's probably angry. It's also my fault. I have indeed neglected her. You think that just because she can't see, you can't bring her to the exhibition. Tong Hui, who was sitting by the side, looked at the scolding online and couldn't help but say, what good does it do for her to blow things up like this? You're being scolded, but she's also being implicated. She's too insensible. There's nothing between you and Xiaolian. How could there be a problem? When Yunyang also said, Coach, how should we resolve this matter? It won't be long before Lil Lian's debut. If we don't resolve this, it will have a huge impact on her and our team. Yen Dong, let's get Xiaogua to come over and talk to her. She probably doesn't know about the situation on the internet. We've explained the pros and cons to her, so she should know what to do. The most important thing now was to get Tanggua to delete those videos. When Tanggua received the call from Coach Jiang Yandong, she was not surprised. I don't want to go home now. It was like a little girl throwing a tantrum. After blowing things up and not going home, Tanggua wanted to let everyone know that no matter how gentle a person was, there would be a time when they would lose their temper. She wanted everyone to understand that when she was not sure what Jiang Yandong was doing and neglected her, she would be upset and angry. When she was angry and upset, she had to vent it out and let everyone know. It was very uncomfortable to be alone. She was the one who was upset, so she might as well vent it out and let everyone be unhappy. Then let's talk outside, okay? The current situation is not good for Yen Dong. Xiaogua, I know you're very angry, but I also believe that you don't want Yen Dong to be hurt. In the end, Tanggua agreed. Lin Tong said that she wanted to accompany Tanggua. Lin Xian also wanted to go, but after thinking about it, he felt that at this time, he had to avoid arousing suspicion. Tanggua said, Tongzi, spread the news that Jiang Yandong's coach wants to talk to me in private. System, got it, host. Tanggua smiled. I'll do as the coach says. They will probably ask me to delete the video of that night and post that I'm on good terms with Jiang Yandong and that it was a misunderstanding. But what if the majority of the netizens know that the coach wants to talk to me in private and even recorded our conversation? System, damn, this woman is so bad. Chapter 1993. Tanggua and Jiang Yandong's coach, Lu Hong, had agreed to meet at a cafe. Lin Tong accompanied Tanggua and when they arrived, Lu Hong was already waiting for them. Lin Tong held Tanggua's arm and whispered in her ear, only Lu Hong is here. I don't see Jiang Yandong. Lin Tong was a little unhappy. It was clearly Jiang Yandong who was in the wrong. It wasn't Tanggua's fault at all. She was a person with poor eyesight, and she liked Jiang Yandong wholeheartedly. She had eaten too much, so she did something bad to him. If it wasn't because he was dirty, would it have blown up so much? Take last night as an example. It was clearly his fault. Tanggua should have been angry. Who would have thought that when Tanggua asked him to calm down, Jiang Yandong really didn't come and continued to watch the exhibition with Xiaolian. It was really infuriating. Now that the matter had blown up, it was difficult for the club to clean up the mess. They had to find Tanggua to clarify the matter. And the result? Jiang Yandong actually didn't show up. Only his coach, Lu Hong, came. Brother Yen Dong didn't come. Tanggua's footsteps paused. Her position wasn't far from Lu Hong. Lu Hong could clearly hear her words. His expression was a little uncomfortable. Lin Tong's tone was a little unpleasant. He didn't come. She pulled Tanggua to sit down and glanced at Lu Hong. Why don't you ask Coach Lu Hong why Jiang Yandong didn't come? Now that the matter has blown up and Xiaogua wants to clarify the matter, he didn't come himself. What's the meaning of this? Lu Hong hurriedly said, Xiaogua, don't take it to heart. There is indeed a reason why Yen Dong didn't come. Currently, there are many crazy fans who are squatting at the club. They have been crowding there since early morning, clamoring to seek justice for you. Look at how big the matter has blown up. We were afraid that the previous incident would happen again and cause irreparable harm to Yendong, so we had no choice but to ask you out. If we don't clarify this matter properly, many people will continue to misunderstand. Brother Yendong, did he say anything? Tangua did not answer. Instead, she asked, I asked him to consider the issue between us yesterday. Has he considered it? Lu Hong hesitated for a moment before saying, Xiaogua, this relationship was originally a private matter between the both of you. However, the current situation has already affected Yendong in all aspects. Next month, there will be a very important match. It will be Yendong and Xiaolian's first match together. It will be a very important event for them and even the club. What do you want to say? Tangua stopped smiling and asked in a flat tone. What I mean is that we should first resolve the misunderstanding and comfort the fans. You don't want Yendong to be criticized and put in danger, do you? You should know how crazy those fans are. Lu Hong sighed. Yendong is really a genius. He's only 19 years old this year and he still has a long way to go in the esports industry. I can't just stand by and watch his future be affected because of such a small matter. Coach Lu Hong, are you trying to say that all of this is my fault? That I will ruin Brother Yendong's future? Tangua held the coffee cup with both hands and said in a flat tone, how can I, who can't see, affect Brother Yendong? Or does everyone think that the two of us are not compatible at all? No, that's not what I mean. The two of you are the most suitable couple. Lu Hong realized that no matter how obedient and gentle a person was, when they were unreasonable, it was very troublesome. Chapter 1994. Then what does Coach Lu Hong mean? On one hand, you said that Brother Yendong is being criticized and needs me to do something. You even seem to be blaming me. On the other hand, you said that we are the best match. Can you explain it more clearly? You know that I can't see. I don't know anything that happens on the internet. Lu Hong was slightly stunned. He looked at Tangua's lifeless eyes and didn't know what to say for a moment. He suddenly remembered that this girl in front of him had lost her precious eyes for Jiang Yandong. His gaze unconsciously fell on Tangua's hands that were holding the coffee cup. He could see that there were some faint scars on her delicate hands. Although they were very faint, he could see them at a glance if he looked closely. Right now, everyone on the internet is scolding Jiang Yandong for abandoning his fiancée and going on a date with another girl. They are scolding him so badly that they even want to boycott him. Ever since Yendong entered the esports scene, he has received many praises and is loved by many people. Originally, he and Xiao Lian were innocent. However, because of a small misunderstanding yesterday, the two of them were scolded by the netizens and had a great impact on them. What I mean is, can Xiaoguo release a statement to say that everything that happened yesterday was a misunderstanding? As for other things, after this incident passes, you and Yendong can sit down and talk about it slowly. What do you think? For a moment, both parties fell into silence. Lin Tong felt that there was a fire burning in her heart. These people were only thinking about Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian being wronged and criticized. Did they think about Xiaoguo? Even at that time yesterday, Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lianqing were innocent. He was the one who deceived Xiaoguo. He bought a ticket and didn't bring his fiancée. He told her that he was busy and turned around to bring a woman to the exhibition. No girl would be able to accept such a thing if it happened to her. Did they not think that from the beginning to the end, the one who was wronged was actually Tangua? As for Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian, they were just reaping what they had sown. Who told them to go to the exhibition together for no reason? Who asked Jiang Yandong to not care about Tanghua? Who asked him and Xiao Lian to secretly watch the exhibition and were even seen by Xiao Guo and many other fans? Who asked him to be unrepentant after being seen by others? Thinking that he was not in the wrong, he continued to watch the exhibition with Xiao Lian with a clear conscience, leaving his fiancée aside and not caring about her. In summary, Jiang Yandong deserved it. Xiao Guo, I'm sure you don't want to ruin Yandong just because of some rumors, right? It had not been easy for him to get to where he was today. I believe you definitely don't want to see him in a difficult situation. Tanghua smiled faintly. Of course, I hope that brother Yandong is fine. I'm fine as long as he's fine. But his behavior yesterday made me realize that we might not be suitable for each other. At Xiao Tong's house, I thought about it a lot. Why should I drag down brother Yandong, who is so dazzling and has such a bright future? If he really just feels guilty and doesn't like me, then he doesn't have to accept me as a burden. Other than being unable to see, I'm just like a normal person. Going shopping alone, buying things, going to concerts, I can do all of that. Lu Hong really did not know what to say. He thought about it and was about to say something when Tanghua suddenly changed her words. Although I'm very angry that I might not be that important in brother Yandong's heart. But Coach Lu Hong, you're right. I really don't want to see him being criticized. So, I promise you that I'll help him clarify this matter. Chapter 1995. Lu Hong was stunned for a moment. This sudden turn of events left him a little at a loss. He looked at the beautiful girl in front of him. If it weren't for her lifeless eyes, she would definitely be even more outstanding. He thought that she had said those words because she didn't want to help Jiang Yandong clarify things. He didn't expect that there would be such a twist in the end. Even if she was angry, she didn't want to see him in a bad state. He suddenly didn't know how to express his feelings. How much did she like him to be able to tolerate this? Thinking about it from another perspective, he guessed that any girl wouldn't be able to accept what had happened yesterday. It was reasonable for her to be angry. Then what should I do, Coach Lu Hong? I just need to post a status update to clarify things. Lu Hong reacted. It would be best if you could delete the 2 videos from yesterday. He looked at Tanghua, trying to discern something from her expression. Okay. Tanghua unlocked her phone and handed it to Lin Tong. Little Tong, please help me delete these 2 videos. And then, Coach Lu Hong, what should I do next? Lu Hong looked at Tanghua's serious expression and said with difficulty, post a status update to clarify that yesterday was a misunderstanding. Okay. Tanghua asked again, apart from this, do you need to go to the club and clarify things with the fans outside? Of course, it would be best if you could do that, Lu Hong answered quickly without thinking. If Tanghua was willing to go directly to the club and meet with Jiang Yandong, the fans wouldn't have such a big opinion when they saw that the 2 of them had reconciled. Yesterday was a very small matter to begin with. Someone had used it to make a big fuss and wanted to destroy Jiang Yandong. If Tanghua went, everyone would come to their senses for her sake. If Jiang Yandong really had something going on with Xiaolian, how could he have openly watched the exhibition in the exhibition hall? Then I'll take a video as I walk. Tell the fans that I'm going to look for brother Yandong now. What happened yesterday was just a small misunderstanding between couples. It's not as serious as you think. Lin Tong held Tanghua's arm and stood up. She helped turn on the camera and listened to her say, I thought about it for a while. What happened yesterday was indeed a small misunderstanding. Brother Yandong explained to me yesterday that he didn't tell me about the exhibition hall because he was afraid that I wouldn't be able to see the beautiful night luminescent pearls and feel regretful. It would make me unhappy, so he told a white lie. And he and little Lien appeared in the exhibition hall at the same time. They are teammates. If something really happened, they wouldn't dare to appear there openly. I often go to the club and I'm good friends with Xiao Lian. I believe that there's nothing going on between them. So, this is a small conflict between me and brother Yan Dong. Everyone, please don't misunderstand. Now, I'm going to the club to look for brother Yan Dong. I heard that he can't come out. I'm really worried about his safety. After this video was posted, the fans heard Tang Guo's words and it caused another commotion. Although they were still dissatisfied with Jiang Yandong, because Tang Guo couldn't see, she was a weakling. Everyone didn't go overboard with their words. As for Jiang Yandong and Xiaolian, they were indeed teammates. Even if the scene shown in the video didn't look ambiguous, it was so open and aboveboard. There was probably nothing going on. They chose to believe it for now and see what would happen next. Of course, there were still many people who scolded Jiang Yandong for being a jerk. In short, they slashed half of it. Chapter 1996. When countless fans saw that Tang Guo really appeared at the club, they didn't do anything extreme. Instead, they watched her walk into the club. Everyone in the club watched the video that she posted. Jiang Yandong looked at the video with mixed feelings. His heart was filled with guilt. He was indeed in the wrong. Even if Xiao Guo couldn't see it, he shouldn't have hidden it from her and not brought her to the exhibition. Xiao Lian watched the video with a complicated expression on his face. When Tang Guo walked in, Jiang Yandong quickly stood up and walked in front of her to support her. Xiao Lian felt a little disappointed. She just stared at the two of them blankly. Actually, she had already realized that Jiang Yandong felt more guilty towards Tang Guo. He didn't like her at all. But she was just an outsider. They were engaged. She didn't have the right to say anything. Brother Yan Dong, are you okay? I'm fine, Xiao Guo. I didn't think about what happened before and neglected you. I thought that bringing you to the exhibition to see the night luminescent pearl was hurting you. I forgot that you just wanted to accompany me. You didn't have to see the beauty of the night luminescent pearl. It's good that brother Yan Dong understands. Then let's film a video and explain it to the fans. Tang Guo shook her head. It looked like she was still looking for something. Her unfocused eyes looked at the empty space and said, Xiao Lian, come. Let's go together. It was just a small misunderstanding yesterday. I didn't want it to cause such a big impact. With so many people watching, Xiao Lian had no choice but to stand up and stand with Tang Guo. Tang Guo heard Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian say that there was nothing between them. They were just teammates working together. Xiao Lian said that if she had known that it would cause such a huge impact, she would have definitely refused to go to Night Luminescent Pearl. Previously, Jiang Yandong had invited her because the others were not around, so he had casually invited her. He did not want to waste a ticket, so she had gone. Jiang Yandong said the same thing. He said that he was afraid that if he brought Tang Guo there, she would be disappointed if she couldn't see the night luminescent pearl. He didn't think it through. As for why he invited Xiao Lian, it was really because they were teammates. It was just a casual request. The two of them spoke openly and honestly, without any abnormalities at all. In addition, Jiang Yandong admitted that he had neglected Tang Guo and promised that he would be more careful in the future. The angry netizens finally calmed down. The reason why they were so easily appeased was because they didn't want to continue making a fuss. They didn't want to cause any inconvenience to the girl with blindness and affect her. At the end of the day, it was because she was on the weaker side that everyone couldn't bear to see her suffer. This was also the reason why Lu Hong had gone to look for her. Lin Tong stood at the side and looked at the people in the club. They all heaved a sigh of relief. She was very unhappy. She took out her phone and called Lin Xian. She told him everything that had happened. Esports genius. What a hypocrite. I think he obviously doesn't care about Xiaoguo. These people are just bullying Xiaoguo because she's soft-hearted and can't see. Brother Xian, how's your game training going? Brother Lei said that you're very talented. Although you're not young anymore, he thinks highly of you. When can you play? When the time comes, you must teach Jiang Yandong a lesson. I'm still angry. Lin Xian was silent for a while. Around him, videos about Jiang Yandong were playing. There were new content on his laptop. It was all his summary of hero strategies. I will work hard. Chapter 1997. The people in the club laughed when they saw that the public opinion on the internet had changed for the better. Lu Hong suggested that they go for lunch later to have a good gathering and to thank Tang Guo properly, but she rejected him. I came here this time because I don't want Brother Yan Dong to continue being attacked. After all, that wasn't my original intention. Tang Guo sat on the stool and said calmly, I still have to say the same thing. Brother Yan Dong, you need to consider our relationship. I feel that we don't have the atmosphere of a couple. Think about it carefully. Do you still need to continue with your relationship with me? Xiaoguo, Brother Yan Dong, think about it carefully. This sentence will be effective before we get married. Please remember, don't choose to be with me because you feel guilty. What I need is not your guilt, but your love. The originally joyous atmosphere was washed away in an instant. Tang Guo smiled faintly. She was unhappy now, so there was no need for everyone to be happy. Tang Guo wanted to leave with Lin Tong and Jiang Yandong chased after them. Tang Guo rejected him and told him to train hard. The others didn't say anything, but Tong Hui, who always spoke without thinking, quickly said, you have to complete the act. If people see you leaving alone, Yan Dong will be scolded badly. Everyone was on your side when you caused such a huge commotion on the internet. Lin Tong turned around and glared at Tong Hui. If you don't know how to speak, then give your tongue to someone who needs it. Tong Hui was frightened by Lin Tong's glare. He turned around and sat aside, not saying anything. Then Brother Yan Dong, send me back. The atmosphere became extremely awkward again. Xiao Lian quickly said, Xiaoguo, are you angry with me? I promise that there's nothing between Jiang Yandong and me. There's nothing between us. I'm not angry with you. I'm angry with Brother Yan Dong. I feel that I'm not important in his heart. That's why I asked him to reconsider our relationship. Not long after Jiang Yandong left with Tang Guo, Tong Hui couldn't help but say, isn't that too pretentious? What else does she want? This time, because of her, Yan Dong and Xiaolian were scolded badly by others. Yet, she did not give up and continued to cause trouble with Yan Dong. She is really too insensible. You're talking too much. Let Yan Dong handle this matter. What's the point of saying so much? When Yunyang said. He looked at the depressed Xiao Lian and patted her shoulder. Xiao Lian, don't be sad. We all believe that you didn't do it on purpose. Xiaoguo couldn't see, so she would definitely think more about it. Besides, she sacrificed so much for Jiang Yandong, so it's inevitable that she feels insecure. Everyone in the club, except for Coach Lu Hong, was comforting Xiao Lian. He took a puff of his cigarette and recalled the scene in the cafe when he talked to Tang Guo. He was sure that what Tang Guo said was true. She asked Jiang Yandong to reconsider. Did she do anything? No, she really didn't do anything. To be honest, if Jiang Yandong knew how to avoid arousing suspicion and did not lie to her, this wouldn't have happened today. Ever since that incident, Tang Guo and Jiang Yandong were very unfamiliar with each other. Even though Jiang Yandong was much more attentive and came back early, it seemed that everything could not go back to the past. Xiao Guo, maybe we can talk. Tang Guo hugged a pillow and sat on the sofa. Talk about what? Has Brother Yandong thought it through? At this moment, Jiang Yandong's phone rang. Chapter 1998. Tang Guo could sense that there was something wrong with Jiang Yandong's aura. She remembered that the clock had rung 10 minutes ago. Then the time now was around 9:10 p.m. Jiang Yandong's aura seemed to be getting more and more unstable, and there was a faint hint of anxiety. Dear host, old man Zhao's matter must have been exposed. It's been so long, and the suitable evidence and stolen goods should be almost there. Is that so? I knew it. Xiao Lian was sobbing on the other end of the line, and Jiang Yandong had even walked to the door. I couldn't hear what happened after that. The system laughed secretly. I heard it. Xiao Lian was crying as she called Jiang Yandong, saying that something had happened to her grandfather. The reason why she didn't call anyone else was that she and old man Xiao were the only ones left in the Xiao clan. Even if she had other people's contact information, in her heart, Jiang Yandong was probably the most important person. At this moment, Jiang Yandong's voice sounded in Tang Guo's ears. Don't worry, I'll be right there. Tang Guo sat on the sofa and maintained a smile. She even asked, Brother Yandong, who was it? A team member. Jiang Yandong subconsciously lied. He hung up the phone and walked in front of Tang Guo. I need to go out for a while. Let's talk about those things later, okay? Xiao Guo, please believe me. I'm willing to take care of you for the rest of my life. What's the matter? Why are you in such a hurry? It's already past 9 p.m. I have no choice. I have to go. Jiang Yandong didn't explain further. He hurried upstairs, changed his clothes, took the car keys, and went out. Hearing the sound of the car starting up and leaving, Tang Guo yawned. I can finally sleep. Jiang Yandong should be back very late every night now. Tongzi, tell me the details of Xiao Lian's situation. Xiao Lian knows that old man Xiao has been arrested. I heard that if she wants to atone for her crime, she has to hand over those things. However, according to the grapevine, even if old man Xiao taught him what he had, he might be sentenced to life imprisonment or even death. But according to the situation in their circle, I reckon it'll be forever. Xiao Lian didn't know what to do at the moment. She could only call Jiang Yandong for help, although Jiang Yandong couldn't help much. Where's that old man Xiao? He has already been secretly escorted away. The higher-ups know that he has some ability, so they asked the special department to escort him. The people from these special departments are different from some motley crew on the internet. They are internal and don't do bad things. They are in charge of such sneaky behavior. Tang Guo was puzzled. Then why didn't they care about these things before? After all, they have status. There are many things that they have to take care of. This old man Xiao is very cunning and has an insider. It's impossible for them to let so many people take care of him for a night luminescent pearl. Tang Guo came back to her senses and smiled. That's right. No matter how precious the night luminescent pearl is, it can't be compared to some more important things. Tongzi, I can tell that you are very envious of other people's status in the organization. You can't see old man Xiao clearly. Don't forget that you don't have a serial number now. The system was a little angry. Dear host, it's difficult to unify. Didn't 222 and 111 send you an email? System, I contacted them before, but there was no important news. The boss of the Spacetime Bureau still hasn't returned, so the matter of my serial number has been delayed. I don't know what they are busy with and what they are busy with. Sister Tang Jiao and my brother Tang Kuei, how are they doing now? Digression, see you tomorrow. Chapter 1999. Previously, when the 3-2s sent me an email, they said that they were in the apocalypse. The host has transmigrated through so many worlds, and so has the Tang Jiao. According to the 3-2s, the Tang Jiao has matured a lot over the years. Even in the apocalypse, she can handle it with ease. The 3-2s expressed that they were very happy. The system explained the Tang Jiao situation. As for your brother, he was in a cultivation world. That world is very dangerous, but Tang Kuei is not someone to be trifled with. From the words in the 3-2's foot emails, I can feel his fear of Tang Kuei. I guess that he is a killing god in the cultivation world. That's good. Tong Zi, when you are free, pay more attention to them and make sure that they are safe. As for my brother being a killing god, someone must have provoked him. Don't you think so? The system was stunned for a moment and quickly said, the host is right. Your brother is a reasonable person. If no one provoked him, why would he kill someone? That night, Jiang Yandong did not come back. He also did not call Tanghua. Perhaps he had forgotten that she was waiting for him in the villa. Of course, Tanghua did not wait for him. After he left, she went to sleep. However, in the middle of the night, she asked the system to check the time and help her call Jiang Yandong. She did not know what he was busy with, but he did not pick up. In the morning, after Tanghua had breakfast, she took out her phone and called Jiang Yandong. Still, no one picked up. Today was the weekend, and Jiang Yandong did not have classes at school. She could only call the club. Yandong is not at home. When Yunyang asked in surprise. I thought that he was going to accompany you at home today. I didn't expect that he was not at home. I just arrived at the club. Let me ask the others if something happened. Last night, around 9 p.m., Brother Yandong received a call saying that something happened to a member of the club. He hurriedly changed his clothes and left with his car keys. Later, very late at night, I called him many times, but no one picked up. She called him again this morning, but there was still no answer. Today is the weekend, so I had no choice but to call you to ask if something happened to the club. Why didn't Brother Yandong come back last night? When Yunyang turned on the loudspeaker so that the members around him could hear Tanghua's words. They looked at each other and confirmed their team members. They found that apart from Jiang Yandong, only Xiao Lian was absent. Thinking of this, they felt a little uneasy. The two of them didn't come at the same time. Could there be some kind of connection? Coach, do you know what happened to Yandong and Xiao Lian? At this time, it was only a little past midnight. When Yunyang covered the microphone almost instinctively, not wanting Tanghua to hear this. Lu Hong shook his head. I didn't receive any news that Yandong and Xiao Lian had applied for leave. I thought they were late because of a traffic jam. Xiaoguo said that he went out at 9:00 last night and hasn't come home. What should we say? When Yunyang frowned. The main thing is that Xiao Lian didn't come either. I don't know what the connection is. The other people's expressions also changed slightly. They didn't wish for Jiang Yandong to spend the entire night with Xiao Lian. The previous matter had finally calmed down with great difficulty. Xiaoguo, the members of the club are not all here yet. At the moment, I don't know the exact situation. When the others arrive, I will ask them and give you the news, when Yunyang said in the end. Chapter 2000. As for Wen Yunyang's excuse, Tanghua did not expose it. She did not believe that these people did not think that Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian were not there and that they might be together. Now, the people in the club were probably thinking of ways to contact the two of them. Let's make a post. If it's really important, of course I have to share it with everyone. The system looked at it silently. Tang Gui took out her phone and started to record a video. Brother Yan Dong received a call yesterday saying that something happened to a member of the club. He hasn't answered until now. I don't know what happened, but I'm really worried. I hope he's fine. I just called the club to ask, but there seems to be no news. If you know anything, please let me know. It's really inconvenient to do many things when you can't see. When this post was posted, it caused another sensation. Jiang Yandong disappeared overnight, causing many fans to spontaneously search for him. They all ran to the club's official Weibo to ask what was going on. She was just someone who was worried about Jiang Yandong. She did not know what this post would cause. Tang Gui did this on purpose. Indeed, not long after, she received a call from the club's members. They questioned her why she posted such a post, saying that it would affect Jiang Yandong negatively. Tang Gui replied calmly, "I'm just worried about Brother Yandong. There's no news from your side. I hope everyone can see it and help me find him. If Brother Yandong does not appear after 24 hours, I will call the police." Hearing Tang Gui say that she wanted to call the police, everyone in the club was speechless. The person who called her was Tong Hui. He was so angry that he did not know what to say. However, they could not contact Jiang Yandong. Previously, they could still get through, but now, his phone was switched off. They guessed that it was probably out of battery. They did not know what Jiang Yandong was doing. Everyone was looking for Jiang Yandong, worried about his safety. Seeing that Jiang Yandong still did not appear, the people in the club panicked and no longer cared about Tang Gui. Later, the club was even more anxious than Tang Gui and directly chose to call the police. However, not long after the police were called, Jiang Yandong appeared. He was also a little annoyed that his cell phone had run out of battery. Yesterday, when he found out that something had happened to Xiao Lian, he went over and accompanied Xiao Lian for the whole night. Looking at Xiao Lian crying helplessly, he couldn't just leave. He was worried about leaving her alone. In the end, he drove Xiao Lian to the beach to relax. The two of them sat by the beach for the whole night. Hearing Xiao Lian say that something had happened to her grandfather, Jiang Yandong didn't know what to do. He couldn't help her with these things, so he could only silently accompany her and comfort her. As for his phone, he left it in the car so that he wouldn't be disturbed. Unexpectedly, when he was about to send Xiao Lian home, his phone ran out of battery. When he drove Xiao Lian to the club and got out of the car, he was surrounded by countless people. Jiang Yandong had no idea what was going on. When he walked into the club with a red-eyed Xiao Lian, he saw everyone looking at him strangely. What's going on? Jiang Yandong's intuition told him that something was wrong. The team members' gazes fell on Xiao Lian. Seeing that her eyes were unbelievably swollen, their expressions became even more strange. Seeing this, Lu Hong finally couldn't help but ask, "Where did you go last night?" Chapter 2001. Jiang Yandong explained to the people in the club that something had happened to Xiao Lian's grandfather. When he received her call, he was worried that something might happen to her, so he went over to accompany her for the night. The phone was left in the car, so he did not hear it. Perhaps there were too many people calling, so the phone's battery was drained, so it was turned off. When the people in the club heard that something had happened to Xiao Lian's grandfather, they showed some sympathy. But when they thought of the current situation, they were troubled. Xiao Lian naturally did not tell them what had happened to old man Xiao. She only said that it was a very serious matter, and his life might be in danger. The people in the club were not in a position to ask, but they did not blame Xiao Lian as much as before. Everyone went to comfort Xiao Lian, asking if there was anything they could do to help her. Xiao Lian quickly shook her head and refused. These people could not help her at all. Grandpa had been taken away secretly. She did not know where he was. Previously, some people with special identities had come to the villa to search and took away all the things that Grandpa had hidden. And they also told her that they were checking all the assets under Grandpa's name. If there was something wrong with the villa, it would be confiscated. Yesterday, she had panicked and called Jiang Yandong. If not for the fact that she did not know where Grandpa had been taken, she would have gone to kidnap him on impulse. Later, Jiang Yandong's appearance calmed her down. Those seniors told her that the other party had sufficient evidence. Those who had taken Grandpa away were the same kind of people as them. In fact, they were even more powerful. They told her to calm down and not to kidnap people for no reason. It would be best if she could find all the things that Grandpa had stolen and hand them over. She might be able to get a lighter sentence. As long as there was nothing wrong with the assets under Grandpa's name, it would be best if she sold all her assets and handed them over. She might have a better chance. Xiao Lian felt that the whole world was collapsing. Grandpa was so powerful. How could he have been caught? Could it be that someone had framed Grandpa? She wanted to know all these. Why did she have to hand over all their things? The things that Grandpa had stolen were not clean in the first place. The people in the club didn't know that someone had already posted photos of Xiao Lian and Jiang Yandong together in the club. The innocence that Jiang Yandong had just proven was gone again. Xiao Gua, there's news about Jiang Yandong. It was a call from Lin Tong. Just now, he and Xiao Lian appeared at the club together. Many people saw them. Xiao Gua, I think that Jiang Yandong simply doesn't place you in his eyes. I'll say something that I shouldn't say, but you won't be happy with him. For the sake of Xiao Lian, he didn't say anything and left you alone at home. He couldn't get through to you and made you worry for nothing. He doesn't have you in his heart. Tang Guo wasn't surprised by Lin Tong's call. She replied calmly, I got it. Did Brother Yan Dong appear at the club with Xiao Lian? That's right. Do you suspect that I'm lying to you? I won't get any candy for lying to you. Lin Tong was furious. Many people on the internet are talking about Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian. They won't be able to clear their names. Xiao Gua, don't make any statements this time. That Jiang Yandong was simply infuriating. Don't leave. I'll come over and take you to the club. Tang Gua agreed. Not long after, Lin Tong arrived. Lin Xian and Lin Li also came along. Chapter 2002. Brother Xian and Brother Lei are here too. Lin Tong explained, I'm just worried that the two of us won't be able to handle the situation. There are so many people in the club, so I asked my two cousins to come and support you. You are my friend. How can I let you be wronged? Little Tong is right. You're Little Tong's friend, so you're also my sister. We definitely have to support you, Lin Yidao said angrily. This is Jiang Yandong's way of doing things. No, sister, whatever you want to do, just do it. I know you're smart and you know how to choose. The current Jiang Yandong isn't suitable for you. What he's done these few times is hurting you. You're still young and he's still young. There will be many changes in this period of time, Lin Xian added. In this world, there's more than one Jiang Yandong who deserves your love. Thank you. I know what to do. The few of them brought Tang Gua to the club. When they arrived at the club and saw the scene inside, Lin Xian and the other two were furious. Lin Tong couldn't take it anymore. Jiang Yandong, our Xiaoguo was worried about you the whole night. It's good that you're back now. You seem to have forgotten about Xiaoguo's existence and are even comforting her. Right now, the internet is abuzz with the news that you disappeared for a night and came back with Xiao Lian. Jiang Yandong, how are you going to explain this time? Jiang Yandong hurriedly walked in front of Tang Guo. Xiaoguo, this is a misunderstanding. Lin Tong didn't say anything else. Misunderstanding. Even if it was a misunderstanding, how could a man with a fiancée go out with another girl in the middle of the night? Was that appropriate? Brother Yan Dong, why don't we call off the engagement? From today onwards, you are you and I am me. There were many things in the past that I did willingly. You don't have to feel guilty. I'll let you go and you'll let me go. Jiang Yandong was a little flustered. No, Xiaoguo, we agreed that I would take care of you for the rest of your life. You only want to take care of me for the rest of your life because of guilt, not because you like me and want to be with me for the rest of your life. Tang Guo's expression was very calm. Brother Yan Dong, I don't want to experience what happened last night again. Can you promise that you won't go out if you receive a call from Xiaolian in the future? Can you guarantee that Xiaolian will stay by my side instead of comforting her if she is wronged? Can you? Jiang Yandong was at a loss for words. He wanted to say that he could. But what happened last night was a slap to his face. If Xiao Lian called him again and told him that something had happened, he really had no choice but to go. Xiaoguo, Xiao Lian and I are innocent. The reason why I was so anxious to go out yesterday was because something happened to her grandfather. I was afraid that something would happen to her. Tang Guo smiled and asked, then why do you have to be the one comforting her? Why did she choose to call you first when something happened to her family? In order to comfort her, I called you more than 100 times in one night, but you didn't pick up a single one. Because you didn't come back for an entire night, I was about to call the police. When you came back, the first thing you went back to was the club. You didn't come home to explain to me and I had to come to the club. Brother Yan Dong, you don't have me in your heart. Call off the engagement. I am an incomparably heavy burden to you. I am a selfish person. The person I like, my fiancé, can't be good to other girls, no matter what. My people can only think of me and be good to me. Chapter 2003. Maybe in your eyes, I don't see the big picture and don't understand things. But today, I want to tell you that I'm actually such a person. Previously, I was enduring because I was afraid that I would cause trouble for Brother Yan Dong. So, I tried my best to think clearly about everything so that I wouldn't cause trouble for you. But later, I found out that my understanding was only exchanged for your neglect. Brother Yan Dong, ask yourself, do you have me in your heart? Jiang Yandong opened his mouth but didn't know how to answer. Did he? Of course he did. Xiaoguo, I believe that Brother Yan Dong still has a place for me in his heart, but it's only a very small part. I'm not as important as your club, your dream, or even your teammates. Tang Guo took a deep breath and continued, maybe Brother Yan Dong is a very outstanding esports genius and a good teammate, but to me, he's not a good fiancé. I think I should let go. Because we're really not suitable. Brother Yan Dong, go and pursue your dream in the future. I'm 10 this year and you're 19 this year. We're both in our prime. Why should we bind you with such a heavy burden? Maybe many people here are already dissatisfied with me because I'm not a sensible and selfish person. Xiaoguo, it's actually not that serious. To me, it's very serious. Brother Yan Dong, I need a lover who only loves me, dotes on me, and only cares about me. He doesn't want a fiancé who puts me at the bottom of the pecking order. Sensing that Jiang Yandong had nothing to say, Tang Guo said firmly, I'm not here to discuss the cancellation of the engagement with you, but to inform you. Because I don't want to marry you, I have the right to cancel the engagement. Jiang Yandong, you're free. After that, Tang Guo grabbed Lin Tong's hand. Little Tong, let's go. I want to go back to the villa. Tell Nanny Chin to help me pack up. I should go back to my own home. Actually, it doesn't matter where I live. Madam Chin cooks for me and I take care of myself. The chauffeur sends me to the mall, to the opera house, to the club. Listening to Tang Guo's every word, Jiang Yandong's face turned pale. Tang Guo's words brought him back to reality. It was as if he had never been a part of her life. I will inform my parents, uncle, and auntie about this matter. I believe they will understand. Since they were not compatible, there was no need to force it. You're upset, and so am I. It's better to end it as soon as possible. System, the host is probably happy right now. She finally got rid of the scumbag and is single again. She can flirt with the bald guy now. Look at the corners of her mouth that were accidentally curved. Tang Guo, if you call off your engagement with Yan Dong now, aren't you making him feel unjust? Tong Hui couldn't help but ask after seeing the situation on the internet. Lu Hong wanted to stop her, but it was too late. This girl was already pitiful enough. Weren't these words stabbing a knife into her heart? She had already done her best. He could also see that Jiang Yandong and her were indeed not compatible. Just last night, Jiang Yandong had gone to comfort Xiao Lian and disappeared for an entire night. He had missed over 100 of her calls. After he appeared, he didn't even tell her that he was safe. Hence, he agreed to call off the engagement. If it continued, it wouldn't be good for either of them. When Tang Guo heard Tong Hui's words, she turned around. Brother Yan Dong, you have to learn to bear the consequences of your actions. I won't announce the cancellation of the engagement to the public. I'll give you some time to recover. Do you want me to help you explain to your fans what you did last night and that it was all a misunderstanding? Chapter 2004. Tang Guo's words made all the club members' faces burn, except for Tong Hui. He walked up and said, things got out of hand because you posted that video and said you were worried about Yan Dong. If it wasn't for you, would things have gotten out of hand? Lin Tong quickly pulled Tang Guo behind her and said angrily, Brother, I can't take it anymore. Brother Xian, don't you know martial arts? Can you help me beat this guy up? He's really asking for it. As soon as Lin Tong finished speaking, Lin Xian was already beside Tong Hui. He grabbed Tong Hui's collar and punched him in the face. The club members wanted to stop him, but they were no match for Lin Xian. Anyone who tried to stop him would be punched in the stomach. Lin Xian only wanted to hit Tong Hui's face. To be honest, he had wanted to do it for a long time. However, he was in a bad position. If he acted rashly, people would criticize Tang Guo. She was already blind and had lost all the glory in the world. He didn't want people to talk about her behind her back. Now, Lin Tong had shouted that Lin Tong was his cousin. What a good excuse to help his cousin beat up a scumbag that she couldn't stand. Although he had only used 10% of his strength, he had added 30% of his hidden energy to the punch. Tong Hui might look fine, but he would be in pain for a few days. System, host, I feel that your little bald head is using his power to avenge a personal grudge. He's using the excuse of standing up for his cousin, but in reality, he's fighting for you. He's a martial arts expert, but he actually used his hidden energy on an ordinary person. You can see how much he hates Tong Hui. Tong Hui is really annoying. Every time I hear him speak, I want to cut his tongue out. If only this was the cultivation world, his tongue would have been cut off long ago. Lin Xian's anger subsided and he threw Tong Hui aside. Shut up if you don't know how to talk. After Tong Hui was beaten up, he finally had some peace and quiet. The club members also knew that Lin Xian might be a martial arts expert, so they didn't dare to provoke him. Xiao Lian looked at all of this and shouted, "All right, stop fooling around. It's all my fault. If you want to do anything, just do it to me. Don't blame Jiang Yandong. He was just trying to comfort me. It's all my fault. I shouldn't have called him." Many people sympathized with Xiao Lian. After all, something had happened to her grandfather. Now, Tang Guo had brought people to cause trouble. But this time, Lu Hong did not side with his team members. He walked over to Tang Guo and said, "I'm sorry. It's all Yan Dong's fault this time. Are you serious about breaking off your engagement with him?" "I'm serious." "All right." Lu Hong nodded. "I'll talk to him about this. I don't think the two of you are suitable for each other. Xiao Guo, go back. You didn't do anything wrong. It was Jiang Yandong's fault. I hope you can find someone who truly cares about you in the future." "Thank you, Coach Lu Hong. I believe there will be someone." When Tang Guo said this, Lin Xian, who was standing at the side, couldn't help but straighten up. This kind of subconscious action caused him to be stunned. Lin Li noticed it and nudged Lin Xian. "Xian, what are you doing?" "No, nothing," Lin Xian said hurriedly. He was just listening to that girl's words. It was really weird. After Tang Guo left, Tong Hui jumped up and shouted, "Coach, are you speaking up for an outsider?" Lu Hong glanced at him. Yan Dong was indeed wrong about this. Xiao Guo was already very magnanimous to speak calmly. "But coach, there are already a lot of people on the internet attacking Yan Dong." When Yunyang frowned. "What should we do?" Chapter 2005. Lu Hong heard Wen Yunyang's words and said, "Let's be honest. Let's just say that something happened to Xiaolian and Yan Dong went to look for her because he was worried. Yan Dong would like to apologize to everyone and say that it was his fault for not thinking things through. He should have informed the entire team and gone to help Xiaolian." Lu Hong felt that this was the right time. Being secretive would only make people look down on Jiang Yandong. He might as well just say that he was worried about Xiao Lian. They were teammates, and they were teammates who worked well together. It was normal for him to be nervous when something happened to Xiao Lian. It was just that he didn't think things through and caused a lot of trouble for everyone. Although this answer would still cause a lot of people to scold him. But he felt that it was better for their long-term development. Being willing to take responsibility for not thinking things through was better than being secretive and letting people speculate and smear Jiang Yandong's reputation. They were in the esports industry and it was different from the entertainment industry. When Jiang Yandong and Xiao Lian fought together and won, the fans would slowly forget about it. The fans would slowly forget about this matter. As long as Jiang Yandong could bear with it, it wouldn't affect him too much. "I don't think so. If we do that, everyone will scold Xiaolian." When Yunyang was the first to object, followed by the others. Tong Hui was the most vocal and rejected Lu Hong's suggestion. Tong Hui even said, "Boss, I feel like you're siding with outsiders now. Yan Dong is a member of our team." Yan Dong probably didn't think too much about what happened to Xiaolian yesterday. Didn't he tell Tang Guo clearly before he left? He only disappeared for a night and she created such a big news. She's just petty and jealous. That's why things turned out this way. Yan Dong was just being kind. There's no need to apologize. Lu Hong felt a headache whenever he saw Tong Hui. When he heard him speak, he had the urge to hit him. Did these youngsters understand the logic? If Jiang Yandong didn't have a fiancé, it wouldn't matter where he went at night. But now he had abandoned his fiancée to spend time with the opposite sex. Everything was wrong. Moreover, his relationship with Tang Guo was special. If he didn't handle it well, it would affect him negatively. Let's do as boss says. Jiang Yandong woke up from what Tang Guo had said before she left. It's my fault for not thinking things through and making Xiao Guo upset. Yandong, this isn't a big deal. If Xiaolian had called any of us yesterday, we would have gone over. Speaking of this, Tong Hui had complained. Why didn't Xiaolian call him? If she had called him, there wouldn't be so much trouble. In the end, have happened to what's have lins. Have some SSAA, as to haves not upset Xiaolian, have AA. For do not for Xiaolian's to himself. Everyone told him that he already had a fiancée. If he were to encounter such a situation in the future, he should inform the team first so that everyone could resolve it together. They should know how to avoid suspicion when it came to the opposite sex. They also said that they didn't want to see Tang Guo upset or anxious because of him. Jiang Yandong said that such a thing wouldn't happen again. Xiao Lian's situation wasn't so good. Chapter 2006. Although she apologized, the number of people scolding her did not decrease. Most of them warned her not to call someone who was already taken if anything happened in the middle of the night. Xiao Lian looked at those comments and was so angry that her eyes turned red. Thus, the whole morning, the members of the team comforted Xiao Lian. Fortunately, Jiang Yandong's side had stabilized, so the impact on the team was relatively small. As for Xiao Lian, everyone would forget about this matter in a few days. When Xiao Lian shone in the competition, everyone would know how outstanding she was. Jiang Yandong thought that Tang Guo said those words out of anger. He did not expect that when he returned that day, he would find that Tang Guo had already moved everything and returned to the villa next door. He anxiously went to find Tang Guo, wanting to explain something. Brother Yandong, I've said it very clearly. I came to find you today to inform you about the cancellation of the engagement, not to discuss it with you. Xiao Guo, is there no way to salvage the situation? Tang Guo stood at the door and said calmly, no, because in Brother Yandong's heart, I will never be the most important. In the past, I placed you in the most important position. After a long time, I feel that it's not fair and I'm not happy. Since you're not happy, then don't continue. I've already informed Mom and Dad, as well as Uncle and Auntie. They replied that they will try their best to come back this month to resolve this matter. When Jiang Yandong heard that, he knew that there was no way to salvage the situation. I really didn't do it on purpose yesterday. It's just that Xiao Lian, as for what happened to Xiao Lian, I don't care. Tang Guo said, I only know that my fiancé went to spend the night with another woman in the middle of the night. Whether it's innocent or not, to me, it's unacceptable. Brother Yandong, you don't have to say anything else. Our engagement has been annulled and we are all free people now. In the future, you can go out whenever you want. No one will mind if you go out and play with the opposite sex anymore. Isn't this good? I hope you can reconsider. Jiang Yandong said tiredly. He did not know how to explain that there was really nothing between him and Xiao Lian. He was just worried about his teammate. There's no need to reconsider. Brother Yandong, it's late. I should go to bed. Tang Guo closed the door. Jiang Yandong stood outside for a while before he had no choice but to leave. When he returned to the villa, he received a call from Xiao Lian. Jiang Yandong, I'm really sorry. I didn't know that calling you out today would cause you so much trouble. Anyway, I'm really sorry. It's all my fault. Xiao Lian's apologetic voice sounded. Are you okay? How is Xiaogua? Has she forgiven you? She still insists on canceling the engagement with me. I'm really sorry, Jiang Yandong. I didn't expect that it would cause such a big consequence. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's my fault. Xiaogua is more concerned about these things. Thinking of Xiao Lian's pitiful look, Jiang Yandong could not blame her. The two of them talked for 20 minutes. Finally, Xiao Lian was comforted. Jiang Yandong was ready to go to bed. After a few days of chaos on the internet, peace was restored. This was the age of information. The netizens' memories were very bad. But they realized one thing. Tanggua did not update her status. You're tuning into the LoveLore Library YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.